I was 16 years old the day that my dad became my hero. A few months before, I had traveled to Beaver Creek, Colorado on a work trip. I had just turned 16 and I was working as a nanny, and I had been taken on a trip to Beaver Creek on a ski trip where I had watched an infant for 8 days. I was exhausted. And I was standing in my room unpacking my suitcase when my mom walked in and handed me the portable phone, and she said, "It's your dad." So I pick up and I'm telling him all about my trip. He was on the road for an away game, and I can't remember now who we were playing. But we talked about that too, and then he said, "I forgot my golf club somewhere. Do you think you could check the garage for me?" And I remember walking down the hallway, and I remember saying something like, "There better not be any cockroaches out here," right as I walk out and flip on the light and see my 1992 Toyota Camry for the first time. He knew the moment I saw it because I quit talking. And he said, in the way that only my dad can, of asking a question that should be a statement, "Did I get you anything?" I started crying and I almost dropped the portable phone. I was so excited. Has never been a girl in any country around the world more excited about a car with 150,000 miles than I was about that Camry. And 3 months later, I'm driving back from dropping my sister off to swim with her best friend. And I'm grinning as I drive because I'm finally part of the family carpool. When someone pulls out in front of me, and the sounds that you hear in a car accident, they haunt you. The screeching of tires, the crushing of metal, the shattering of glass. And I knew in those few seconds that felt like an eternity that I wasn't going to be able to stop. And I remember being in shock as I got out of the car, and I did all of the things that your parents tell you to do. I made sure the other driver was okay, and I got out of the way. And then I called the police, and as we were waiting, the other girl went to smoke a cigarette, and I went to call my dad. I had stayed so calm as I did all the things you're supposed to do, but the moment I heard his voice, I started crying. And I'm standing on the side of South Village Road with tears streaming down my face, and I'm apologizing. "I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so, so sorry. My biggest and best present. I had ruined it." But I'll never forget what my dad said to me. He interrupted me to make sure I was okay because I couldn't stop apologizing. And I said that I was, and he said, "Beeks, I love you, and I don't care about that car. If you're okay and it's just the car, this is just a bad day." And I remember thinking to myself, even then, as I'm standing there at the wreckage of my best and biggest surprise, that's what makes a hero. And now at 30, it's what I have tried most to emulate about my dad. He taught me and he showed me how to love the Lord and how to love people, and he never let insignificant things be the priority. So 5 years later, I asked my dad to come to West Lafayette, Indiana, to speak at an elementary school. And I met him there. It was the elementary school of one of my coworkers' sons, and it was an all-pro dad chapter. And we got there early before school, and we were having breakfast with them, and then my dad got up to speak. I have always loved watching my dad speak. I think it's the reason I ended up in Toastmasters. And he gets up, and his story is so familiar to me. And he's talking about the players that he's coached and the things that he's done and his faith, and all of it is familiar. And then he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out something shiny. It was his Super Bowl ring. It was the ring he had won for beating the Chicago Bears in the first rainy Super Bowl in history. And he held it up and he said, "Most people would say that I have succeeded because I won this. But my greatest success, my biggest accomplishment, has been raising my 3 girls." And all over again, I remembered why my dad had become my hero that day many years ago and why he's still my hero today. Happy Father's Day, Dad. I love you.